We are live. How about you, everybody? Welcome into the Auburn Live call-in show. I'm your host, Jeffrey Lee, Senior Recruiting Editor for Auburn Live on 3. By George, today is Sunday, June the 2nd, 2024, and we've got a fantastic show for you. And I'm not just saying that. We're going to have a fantastic show. We got a lineup, son. You know who's hitting the leadoff. We're going to get to all the phone. If you haven't already, go ahead and call in. Because, I know the number off the top of my head. It's 701-779-9585. I got a lot of stuff wrote down, but not the number for the call-in show. My bad. My apologies. Calm down, people.
Hey,
right.
When you got recruiting nuggets coming in all day and you guys been working how you have, and at your advanced age, Jeffrey, we cannot blame you for not necessarily knowing.
Hey, that right there, folks, was Mr. Alan Head. You know him as ass of the show. No, and Mr. Cole Pinkston, Mr. Body Get Up. How about you, fellas?
How about you?
How about you, big dog? How we doing?
Yeah. Now you want to come in being all nice and stuff. That's
yeah,
right. My moisturizer hadn't soaked in yet. Just got out of the shower. A little glossy, a little rosy. Hey, how you doing? All right, folks, if you haven't been under a rock, you know for a fact that Auburn has had a huge recruiting weekend. And you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't think going in, because of June the 14th, is going to be, numbers-wise, huge. There were 8 guys coming in this weekend. We knew there were some, 3 5-star guys coming in, some commitments to other schools coming in. I did not expect the exit interviews on Sunday to go as well as they did. The exit interviews on Sunday, the news coming out of the interviews on Sunday morning, Auburn Live on 3, subscribers know, was monstrous.
Yeah.
There was some juice.
Yeah,
some juice there for sure.
I didn't walk away. I'll tell you what, and we've done this before, and we've walked away from some interviews and we've gone, that was not happening. I mean, we even did that with like a Jamonte Waller last year. And I didn't walk away from one that way today. All of them, I mean, and it's not just what they say. It's the buzz around them. It's everything going on. You're like, Auburn's really in this with all these guys, even the flip targets. Like, you could even say Naeem Alford. That was more positive than I ever would have expected.
And I tell you what, Naeem Alford isn't great with a microphone in front of his face. He's not. I know the feeling. Trust me, I have improved tremendously, and I still suck. But Naeem's not great with a microphone. Now, here's what happened. He's sitting around talking to us. Off the record, we're just chilling. How's it going? Remember this, remember that. Oh, yeah, remember that. Dude, he is cordial and engaging, and, and then you turn the microphone on him, and he's like, he freezes up. It was good. So those quotes and the stories that we had on Auburn Live on 3 weren't like the Brody Scholl quotes, weren't like the Caleb Cunningham quotes, weren't like the Elijah Melendez quotes. They were pretty basic. But we got to see him, and that's why it's important for us to see these guys and to be there when they interview. And then to see him hang out the rest of the day with Hugh Freeze, with Kenyatta Watson, with Crime Dog McGriff, the rest of the day at the camp. You take the news from Brody Scholl, who was just very forthcoming, very honest, this is what I needed to see. This was what I needed to see. I mean, that was basically what he said. He wasn't hiding. He wasn't mincing his words. I thought it was Auburn, but I wanted to come and make sure. And that's how I read this. And I just listened to him.
Yeah, I think when he said, this visit kind of made my decision easier, I was like,
right.
Oh, okay, I hear you.
Elijah Melendez, Blake Woodby, all the top guys.
Elijah Melendez will tell you like it is. I think you can just tell. He does interview like he's just talking. That's the way it is. Auburn has a shot. They definitely do. They've come on surge. They've surged a little bit as of late. They got a shot for sure.
I just thought it was home runs all around. Kalen Edwards, I feel like
he was, he kind of didn't want to interview, and then
Yeah.
Then he was like, okay, all right, we'll do it. And then he said, I'm thinking about coming back. Okay. Cool.
Who are we leaving off?
So Caleb Cunningham, Auburn is number one for me presently. And I think we all
the top guy.
Yeah, we all
agreed
news. That Cunningham was more open, I think, going into this weekend than we initially had anticipated. I think that was all of our collective information was.
Yeah.
I know the national thought was, and the consensus was, hey, he's going to stay in Mississippi. That's where he's going to be. And then that wasn't so much the case with the information going in and then definitely coming out. I think Auburn's absolutely in the thick of it. Are they going to stay number one? We'll see. But that was huge news to hear that coming out of his mouth. I mean, that's not coming from a third-party source. That's coming from the kid himself. So I thought that was big news. And then another big offer today. I mean, it was a camp day.
Yeah.
And you saw a young man who's just kind of emerging on the scene in Logan Anderson, who also just got an offer from Georgia. It's not like Auburn's the only school to jump in on this young man. He plays at Fife High School, which is, I think, 3A football, so probably not the most exposure in the world, but got in a camp setting today and really had a fantastic day from what Cole was able to report.
Alan, they get good exposure when it gets to around playoff time, and then everybody knows who Fife is because they don't lose. I think they don't. The last 5 years or something. Something crazy, and it's funny because the first thing he said in his interview was, I think winning's important to me. Well, I bet it is. You never lose.
I believe he started at Auburn High School.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, and then has moved back to Fife. He plays running back, plays linebacker, does it all. Phenomenal athlete just from the 30 minutes. And I followed him around to a couple of stations and watched him move. Phenomenal athlete.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'm like you, Alan, had Georgia not offered, I don't think it would be as big of a deal.
Mm-hmm.
You're right.
But having went to camp at Georgia and earned an offer from Kirby Smart, and then 2 or 3 days later coming to Auburn and earning an offer from Hugh Freeze and those guys, I think says a lot about this kid. His measurables were off the charts. 4.4 for a freaking linebacker. And I mean, let's say they're off 1/10 of a second.
Sure.
4.5.
Still moving. And if you watch his high school highlights, he doesn't just play linebacker on the defensive side of the football. He's a buck or a rush outside guy. He plays deep safety. He can play standing up at the mic. And then also you always love, and this is also something I love about Elijah Melendez, but kids that play running back and also play linebacker, it's a translatable skill set, the lateral agility that's there, the contact balance, reading holes. Those are all things that you learn to do as a running back that also translate to the linebacker position. And it helps kind of with the speed of the game somewhat. So was really encouraged with what I saw on tape. I'll be interested to see how hard we pursue this one, but Georgia doesn't just offer linebackers. You know what I mean? They don't just offer any guy. They have a track record of putting dudes in the NFL and taking the cream of the crop as far as that's concerned. And they don't offer guys they don't think can play in their program. So to me, and DJ Durkin comes from a similar background as Kirby Smart. They both kind of have worked with Will Muschamp.
Right.
And that's big in both of their background, I think, from an IDing and an evaluation standpoint.
And if you follow Auburn football and recruiting, if you're watching this show, you obviously do. You probably remember his brother was Peyton Anderson.
Yeah, walk-on.
Peyton Anderson was a walk-on running back / H-back. He really he had a 35-40 carry game in the state championship as a senior. And had 300 something yards, something crazy, right? Just video game stats he had. This was Logan Anderson's brother, Logan Anderson, who got offered today, the linebacker. And he ends up getting PWO from Gus Malzahn at the time. So technically a legacy recruit, I guess you could say, for Auburn is Logan Anderson. So that'll be interesting. It'll be very interesting.
Before we move on, Amari Winston, we haven't mentioned him. The tight end from Calhoun, Georgia, who's committed to Texas, and also Ty Buster. I thought it was interesting that Ty Buster said he's going to visit Tennessee. He's going to visit Florida State, which if I'm an Auburn fan, kind of makes you feel pretty good.
100% it does. I mean, because you got an early eval there. And I think the only other big school that jumped in initially was North Carolina. Well, now you see other SEC programs trying to get him on campus and obviously to decommit from Auburn. But that just shows, hey, look, it pays to be early, right? It pays to be early, and Jake Thornton got in there, and it was a really great eval. I mean, I like what I see from Ty Buster on tape. Love the athleticism and the power that you see from an interior player and a guy that could play guard or center. So you like the versatility there as well. And then Blake Woodby, maybe the guy who had the most buzz going into the weekend. Also, I think there was some juice coming out of the weekend with him. So it's just a home run, right? I mean, to have 8 guys and to be, I mean, I think Ty Buster was the only 3-star that was on campus.
He was.
And a guy that guy's star is probably on the rise as well.
Sure.
Yeah.
If that's the lowest recruit you've got on campus, you're doing something right.
100% you are.
Let's see. So top storylines: Caleb Cunningham names Auburn number 1. Blake Woodby basically named Auburn number 1 without saying as much. Elijah Melendez solidified Auburn as a serious threat to Miami.
Yes.
Auburn serious threat to flip Texas commit tight end Amari Winston. Who else was there? Blake Woodby. Who else we talk about? Who's at the top? Oh, Naeem Alford,
serious threat to be flipped from Ohio State, I think, at this point.
Brody Scholl.
Yeah. 5-star offensive tackle.
Get Kalen Edwards back if you want him. Ty Buster. So a lot, man, it was just good news after good news for Auburn. Right now, as far as coming up, there's going to be another big weekend next weekend. Right now, Derek Smith, the Alabama commitment, is scheduled to come in. Travis Smith, who a lot of people have pegged going to Georgia, is coming in. Tavares Dice, very important visit for him and trying to solidify his commitment. And then Jacoby Ward. Maybe you can get Jacoby Ward to join the class next weekend.
That would be big. I mean, you're just continuing to bring in guys at position of need in this class and continuing to layer the depth and or bringing commitments to solidify those commitments, because just like Ty Buster with Tennessee, you've also got Florida that's coming hard, very hard after Tavares Dice. So getting him back on campus, making sure that he stays strong in the fold and doing what you need to do there to maintain what is a very critical offensive line class. And Jake Thornton's done a great job up until this point, but you got to make sure you hold on to those guys all the way to National Signing Day. Can't just get them committed. You got to get them signed.
As we head into the week, one guy we have scheduled for an in-week visit is Donovan Starr. Okay, is Donovan Starr, the 3-star cornerback from Brentwood, Tennessee. But Auburn loves this guy. I would say Naeem Alford, Donovan Starr, Blake Woodby are your top 3 cornerbacks out on the board right now. You got Naeem Alford and Blake Woodby on campus this weekend. You're going to get Donovan Starr on campus starting Tuesday. A very high guy on Auburn Sports, so keep an eye out for him on Tuesday. Like I said, the only guy right now we have confirmed for an in-week visit. Otherwise, they're going to be coming in next weekend. All right, Zach in the back, are you not coming to the front?
Also, you guys get the recruiting news out.
You did a great job. You did a great job. Let's get to the phone line, 701-779-9585. Get us started, big dog.
Oh, man, we got a bunch of callers.
Woo!
I believe this is Kevin from Wilmer. So, Kevin, you're live.
Kevin from Wilmer.
There he is, folks, a superstar. Did we lose him?
Kevin, you there?
Yeah, and I got 8 questions for Jeffrey Lee.
All right, Kevin, I've got a question for you for next week, okay?
Okay.
I want you to come up with your top 4 to 5 recruits in this class like you did last year. You had Walker White, Perry Thompson, Cam Coleman, DeMarcus Riddick, Bryce Kane. You had all those cats you wanted in this class, and you called it. I want to know who your top 5 cats are for this class. I want you to come with it next week, okay?
Okay.
Okay, that's an assignment, Kevin. What you got for me this week, big dog?
Caleb Burton with 27 touchdowns.
Okay.
Whew.
I like it, Kevin. Keep it going, big dog.
And number 27, Jaquez Hunter, the running back. He will have 27 touchdowns.
Okay. 27 for Jarquez, 27 for Caleb. Who else you got?
And Fairweather with 26.
Okay. Not quite as Jarquez number, but still 26. Formidable number.
And
who else you got, Kevin? You got 5 more, big dog?
Tim Coleman with 29. And Bryce Kane with 28. And number 4, Camden Brown with 30.
Hey, what about me? Y'all kick me out?
32.
Hey, hold on. Catch me up, Kevin. I had a little technical difficulty there. You had Rivaldo Fairweather at 26. Who'd you have after Valdo? Somebody had 30, didn't they?
Cam Coleman with 29.
Okay, Cam at 29. Who else you got?
And Cam Brown with 30.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, Kevin. Bringing the heat, son. All gas, no brakes, big dog. Give me 3 more.
And Peyton Thorne will throw 300 yards.
300 a game. I like it. Final 2.
And number 87, Brandon Fraser, will have 26.
Okay, 26, just behind Cam Coleman at 29.
And Luke Deal will have like 26.
26 for Luke Deal. Kevin, I like those numbers, buddy.
And I
Kevin,
think we will go 12-0 again.
Undefeated. Let me ask you this, Kevin. What about field goal kickers? We had a suggestion on the Auburn Live message board, the corner. Wanted to know what Kevin from Wilmer, how many field goals do you think Towns Magoo or
McPherson.
Alex McPherson will kick this year?
26.
26 field goals?
Yeah.
I buy that.
They probably won't miss one. I think the last time Auburn missed a field goal was under Brian Harsin.
Yeah, McPherson was perfect last year, wasn't he?
I'll see you next week, y'all.
Hey, Kevin, don't forget about your assignment, big dog. Come back with your top 5 recruits next week. Yes, sir.
Okay. War Eagle.
All right, big dog. Appreciate you, Kevin.
We like it.
Jeffrey talked to him like he was talking to Brooks there for a second.
All right, keep us going, big dog, Zach.
I believe we got Anthony on the line now. Anthony, you're live.
Birthday boy Anthony, get in here now.
Fellas. This is Anthony from Montgomery.
Fellas. Anthony from Montgomery.
What's up, big dog? How's the birthday treating you, man?
Hey, it's going good, man. Recuperating, man. Had a long night last night. I realized that staying out all night shit ain't for me.
You too old for that, Anthony.
Tell me about it, man. Try to do something different because my wife playing a bunch of stuff, and I told her, hey, we can't do this no more. I ain't wake up till like 12 today. I'm too old for that.
No. Now, were you out last night in Montgomery?
Nah. So I was in Tuscaloosa. I actually stay in Tuscaloosa. I just don't claim it because I'm from Montgomery.
I hear you.
How y'all doing tonight?
Doing fairly well, man. What's on your mind tonight, big dog?
Hey, I just want to say, man, $10.99 for Auburn Live is a steal, man. The type content y'all put out today, man, and yesterday was elite. Hell, I felt like I was standing right there with the microphone.
Oh,
So,
man, that's awesome. Appreciate you,
just want
Anthony.
to say kudos to y'all, man. Y'all working your ass off. We appreciate it, man.
Thank you, buddy. It means a lot to me.
But I don't really have a question, man. I just want to say, man, it feels good to have a head coach that's confident, man. I think that's going to take us a long way. And I'm pulling so hard for Freeze to get it done and be the guy for a long period of time because, man, it just feels different because he actually believes that, you know, he can be, that we can be elite. He can recruit at the top level. We can win at the top level, man. When Cole put that post out about Naeem Alford, man, I believe him. When he say he ain't gonna let him leave, I mean, it's been a long time, man, since we had a head coach, man, that's just confidence and what he say, man, and you know, that's gonna do what it takes to be successful. Man, we need it on the Plains, man. I think Freeze is the guy, and we need to rally around him. Like Cole always say, get out of his way, let him do his thing, and I believe he can take us to new heights, man. I don't think people understand what's going on right now, man. Like this is the new norm.
Yeah.
Like he really feel like he can go toe to toe with Kirby and Alabama, and that's on the field and in the recruiting field, man, and in recruiting. A lot of people don't understand that you lose. Most of these teams lose the battle before they even get off the bus, man. They hear the name Georgia and Alabama, and they count themselves out just off the name. And I don't get that with Freeze. Freeze feel like he one of those guys, just like Kirby. So we need to get out of the way and let him do his thing, man. I'm just excited for the future. And man, we need to win like 8 or 9 games so these kids that's coming in can see the work that these guys put in, and we can take this to the next level. That's all I have.
Hey, hold on before you go, Anthony. First of all, it's one thing for a coach to say that I'm not letting this guy leave the state. It's another thing to have confidence in that coach. Like when he says it, I believe him. Yeah. And he's shown that.
Me too, man. I believe him. I truly believe him.
Yeah. Hey,
he believe it. That's what's great, man. He's not just talking. He's not pulling it out his backside, man. I truly believe Freeze believe that. Like he feel like I'm that guy, and you could tell by the way he running his program. You got to love it, man. We're in a different time.
Hey, Anthony, before you go though, POW this week, personal question of the week. Q is silent. We're going to pocket Coles for now because Freeze and 10. This is going to be a quick one. We got a lot to talk about tonight, so we don't want a lot of discussion. We just want some hard answers here. Would you rather live without power or running water?
Ooh.
Power. I can't go without water, man. You need water to drink, bathe. Power, you can make some things work, man. You can light a candle and you can sit in the corner and sit in the circle and sing songs. I need water.
And you can go to the library or wherever. Plus, half my college experience, I was without power because I didn't pay that bill.
You better learn how to play some cards or something around the counter or something. But that water, man, it's rough without that water.
I completely agree. Give me the water. You can have your power.
Yeah, that's the easy answer. Right. If you've ever been without water, you know how bad off you are.
Brother,
right. Exactly.
From somebody whose hometown flooded and you didn't have access to
when you have water, you realize you take for granted how much water
absolutely
you don't have it.
Go camping. I can live without power and light.
And then take that first bath afterwards and tell me which one you can't live without.
Wash your hands, have a drink, rinse your cup out. Oh, I can give me the water, big dog. But good stuff, Freeze and 10. Hey, Anthony, we appreciate you, big dog.
Hey, man, I have a great night, man.
Yes, sir. You too. Always good stuff.
No, and he's just right because Freeze has a little bit of that swagger about him, and he showed us last year. He gave you that proof of concept in recruiting, and so for you guys to do your job, when you hear something, you can trust it now, right? And that makes you so much more effective in what you're able to communicate to the subscriber base. Because before. And I'm not trying to out you guys here, but you would hear all kinds of things, from the previous regime. You're like, oh, shit, I can't report this. I'm going to get laughed out of here, man.
And think back to last year. Even then, we were like, I'm a little Missouri here. Even with Perry Thompson, it was, I'll believe it when I see it.
That was me until July. I was just like, I'm not buying it. I don't care what I hear. I'm not buying it. I'm not. He proved me wrong.
And throughout the year, flipping guys, and now it's like Caleb Cunningham says number one. Naeem offered. He says he's going to get him. I give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm not ready. I'm not ready to put in a prediction or anything, but I'm certainly going to be paying a lot closer attention.
Absolutely. The possibility is truly there.
Right.
Whereas before you would have heard that and you were like, man, whatever.
Yeah. Slow your roll, big dog.
Yep. You're feeling yourself too much.
Good stuff, Anthony. Appreciate you, big dog.
9030. You're live. Who we talking to? Where you calling from?
How about you? This is Malachi King from Anniston, Alabama.
How about you, Malachi King from Anniston?
How y'all folks doing?
Man, we're doing fine. Are you a first-time caller, Malachi?
It's my second time calling.
That's what I said.
I called a while back.
Well, what's on your mind tonight, big dude?
Do what?
I'm going to shut up and let you talk because,
Oh, you're great. I just want to give a shout out to Kevin from Wilmer. I always love his optimism. I wish I could be that optimistic about the season coming up. But anyway, I was going to kind of piggyback a question off of his predictions. As far as the incoming freshmen like Cam Coleman and Perry Thompson and all that, his touchdown total predictions for them, if you took it out of like a single season and put it over their career, who do you think could most likely get to that plateau?
So are you saying, Malachi, like of the four true freshman wide receivers at the end of their careers, maybe who has the most total touchdowns?
Yeah.
Okay, let's say how about after their first 3 years of college? Because Bryce and Malcolm might redshirt this year, so I guess college careers would. Well, let's say 3 years. We'll take the first 3 years. They might get a fourth. Cam probably won't. Because, by the way, I was talking to a coach today and was told, no kidding, he's better than I even thought he was. So at the end of their first 3 years of playing college,
I mean, it's Cam Coleman. He's going to start this year. I think Perry Thompson's ceiling's through the roof. I think the world of Malcolm Simmons and Bryce Kane. I just think the way Freeze runs his offense, the way he tries to put guys in one-on-ones on the outside, like what you don't see with the Hugh Freeze offense a bunch is you see a lot of being able to throw to space and a lot of like slot fades and one-on-one matchups on the outside. You don't see a ton of stuff over the middle, which is where a slot guy is going to kind of eat in certain offenses. So I think it's going to be one of the outside too, because Cam was here this spring and he's already going to be the starter, or de facto starter right now. I think most of us are penciling him in. I think it's going to be him, but Perry's got an opportunity to be special in his own right and somebody that can truly be an NFL type caliber player when it's all said and done.
I think the bigger talk. Cole, you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. Could y'all imagine pairing Cam Coleman, Perry Thompson, Bryce Kane, Malcolm Simmons, and then Caleb Cunningham coming in as a freshman if Auburn was able to get that guy?
That would be it. All right, to use one of my words, that's one of Jeffrey's favorites. That's some rarefied air there, Cole.
I'm having a tough time breathing this rarefied air.
I'm telling you. Look, man, I mean, that would be unheard of at Auburn to have that collection of talent in the wide receiver room.
I agree.
I mean, can you guys think of anything comparable?
I was thinking the running back field class of
2014. Talent, if you're just going off of talent and you don't care anything about production, there's never been another room like that. But 2014 was very productive. Obviously, Sammy Coates, Duke Williams,
Ricardo Lewis. I mean, all three of those guys played in the NFL.
In that one,
Quan Bray, Marcus Davis.
Oh, that was post. That was before.
I mean, you had a good room then, and they were productive. They were reliable and productive. I don't remember the last time Auburn's been that productive and reliable at receiver. That was the last time. Would y'all agree with that?
Absolutely. And that was probably Auburn's, other than Jared Stidham's year with Slayton and
that was a good year.
Ryan Davis, and
There you go.
Will Hastings also being in the mix there for them. That was a good group, and I think Jared was more productive than Nick Marshall. But that wide receiver corps was nasty.
It was, yeah.
And you don't do in the Iron Bowl what that group did. I mean, I think Nick had over 300 yards passing in the first half, if I remember correctly. Sammy Coates was just insane in that game.
Oh yeah, he had a big one.
He did. I mean, that was an extremely talented group, and this group would have the opportunity to be better than that. And that's the best in my lifetime as far as a collection of talent in the same room.
And I don't want to take anything away from that 2014 receiving corps. Like, they were good. Okay, they were very good, as good as Auburn's had in years. But the talent ceiling for Cam Coleman, Perry Thompson, Malcolm Simmons, Bryce Kane, and if you were to land a guy like Caleb Cunningham, even take him out, just the four I just named, that talent ceiling is just way up there. It's way up there.
Is Malachi still on with us?
No.
Okay. Malachi, shoot it in the comments, dude. I forgot to ask you, big dog. Power or water? Do without for a week. Which one?
3643. You're live. Who we talking to? Where you called it from?
Hey, fellas, this is Clay from Columbus.
Oh, Clay. Welcome back, big dog.
Absolutely. I had a couple questions it seems we have a great offensive line class coming in.
Yeah.
In the past, it seemed we kind of got better guys, run blockers and pass blockers. Do you think Hughes prioritizing more pass blockers now? Or just more trying to get better balance, better athletes out there? And I've heard y'all talk about when Hugh likes a guy, and all the coaches, when they really want a guy, they sink their teeth in. They're texting them, they're calling them, they're keeping up with them, they're visiting them. They make them known that, hey, we want you, we think you're great, we want you on the team. Most guys, it seems like they love it. They're like, wow, I'm valued, I'm wanted, this is cool, I'm family. Does it ever backfire? Like, hey man, can y'all back off some? Just curious on your thoughts on that. And going without water would suck, bro.
Yeah. Come on in, big dog. The water is warm. You know what I mean?
Listen, that's a great question, actually.
It is.
I've thought about that before. Like, do you get to the point where you're bugging somebody? Is that possible? Here's what I would tell you. And I've talked to a lot of elite guys. I've talked to a lot of elite guys in Nashville. I just talked to a lot of elite guys in Auburn. I mean, the cream of the crop when it comes to the 2025 class. I have been in front of those guys a lot this week. And what I hear from them a lot is not so much it's Hugh Freeze blowing my phone up, or it's Josh Aldridge or Marcus Davis or, Derek Nix, whoever. It's not so much that. It's more, they talk to my mom every day.
Mm-hmm.
They talk to my dad every day. They talk to my sister. They talk to my cousin. Like, they talk to my coach a lot. I hear from them a good bit, but they're constantly calling my mom. So they divvy it out, I guess you could say, but it's smart. I mean, they are going to win your family. That is their plan. Win your family, and then, usually the kid falls along with that.
Well, typically the decision maker other than the kid is within the family, right? That's usually how it goes.
Absolutely.
So that's a huge dynamic of any recruitment. And I would also say this, that I think this staff is very good at reading the room and knowing who they can put the pressure on and who they can't. So it's kind of reciprocal, right? Like, they're not going to put pressure on a kid they know is not necessarily either A, truly interested in Auburn, or two, that would take that the wrong way. I mean, this isn't AT&T cold calling somebody asking them about a long distance plan. You know what I mean? Like, there's a relationship there, and they have a good feel for who would, who would be, I guess, interested in that kind of pursuit.
Yeah.
One of the most surprising things that caught my eye today, to me, that was surprising, was Naeem Alford was talking about, man, Auburn makes me feel like a priority. They tell me I'm the number one guy, and I truly believe it. They treat me like that. And I said, well, I'm sure every school, a lot of schools tell you that. And his response was, no, they don't. And I thought, wow.
Interesting.
Yeah. Of the schools of Oregon, Ohio State, Auburn and was it Georgia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Auburn was the one who had identified him, had made him known that he is their absolute top priority. And no other school had done that. And that was surprising to me. Well, yeah, that doesn't mean, he said that and I was thinking, yeah, whatever. I'm sure you hear that everywhere. No, I don't. No, this is the only school that says that. I thought that was interesting, but that kind of gives you an idea of how these guys go about it, man. Clay talking about sinking your teeth in. It's they're impressive, man.
No, I agree. The transparency too, because they know a kid's going to give that kind of a quote at some point, right? Like they know that's going to be out and it's going to be circulated. So the fact that they're willing to go on record and tell a kid that, knowing that he's going to repeat that and it's going to get circulated where it might potentially hurt you with somebody else that could hear that, I don't think they care, man. Like I think they truly believe what they say. They mean what they say. And they're ready for some kind of a counter when it comes to that too. I guarantee you. Like that's not something that they're tossing out there that they're not ready to articulate or be able to explain to a young man at the same position.
And listen, that does not mean that they're going to win every battle. Okay.
No,
it doesn't. But I think the theme here is that, and I wrote about this not too long ago, but Auburn and their staff, it's an umbrella effect from the top down from Freeze, and they're all on the same page. And they say, look, we truly believe the relationships still rise above everything else. And you may disagree with that, but they don't seem to care. That's the way they're going to do it. And they think that they're winning a lot of these battles because they have the best relationships with people. And, whether you agree with it or not, that is, I'm just stating what I've observed from that. And I think you would agree, Jeffrey, right?
Absolutely. Cole and I were laughing. I'm going to show him, Cole, can I?
So hilarious.
So today at camp,
you got the green screen. It may not work. You got to put it in front of your face or something.
Oh man, hold on. I got
you gotta take it. Yeah, you gotta take your green screen down.
Let me take I promise y'all it's worth it. Did I freeze?
Jeffrey, listen.
No, you're good, man.
There was a loose ball out there today, and Jeffrey Lee was not going to have that. He did a perfect scoop and cradle on that ball, and he got it. And he went on the ground and everything. It was awesome.
All right, so Christian takes his. God dang, man.
Yeah, you got to take your picture down, man.
You got to drop. I gotta turn my green screen off. I have a green screen. Oh, none. Okay, I got you, big dog.
There it is.
I got you. All right. So Christian Clemente is taking his picture.
Oh, he froze. There he goes.
Oh man. Yeah. Anyway, so I was like, yeah, look good. And then Caleb from Rival sends me this one. This is me throwing it.
Six.
Yeah, there's a 24/7 Rivals doubled up on me, man.
I hear you, brother. I hear you.
Right after that, Jeffrey Lee jumps on a loose ball out there.
Yeah.
It was great.
The old fumble drill, huh?
Terry Price, loose ball on the field. People run, big dog. People run.
We're all laughing at you. You go, hey, that's a loose ball, man. What are you talking about? That ain't funny. Get on that ball.
Ball on the ground. All right, good stuff, Clay. Appreciate your call, man.
50
those boys puking in their helmet over there.
You're live. Who we talking to? Where are you calling from?
Hey guys, how you doing, big dogs?
Oh, how about you?
What's up?
This is War Down Don from Birmingham, Alabama. I just got back on the corner. My old name was Donald61. Been a member off and on for about 10 years now. But Jeffrey, I got a question about you, my friend. How long you been doing this, brother?
Since the end of 2003. So more than 20 years. I took a year off, went to North Carolina. So 20 years.
I believe my nephew was an intern. You were with Rivals. I believe my nephew was an intern with y'all. His name was Alex Clark.
Yeah, I remember old Alex.
Yeah, that's my nephew.
Awesome. How's he doing, man?
Hey, he's doing great. He's actually going to go. Me and him are going to the Birmingham Stallions game together next Saturday.
Oh man, yeah. He was a good one, man. He was a good one. Tell him I said hello.
Yep, I sure will. But Cole and Zach in the back, I talked to you guys a couple of weeks ago. Alan and Jeffrey weren't there tonight.
yeah.
I talked to you, but Cole,
That's right.
you were kidding. You said, "Man, you know you're Auburn football," but I go all the way back in Auburn recruiting in 1981.
Wow.
That's right. I remember now. I remember Don.
But Jeffrey, I got a Birmingham radio question for you. You've been on Jocks with Landon Roberts and Pat Smith before, hadn't you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I'm a regular caller on there and got to be friends with him. My caller name is Don on Jocks. Those people out there might have heard me, but we talk about Auburn football all the time, and they get a bad rap because a lot of Alabama people say they don't talk about. I mean, a lot of Auburn people just don't think they talk about Auburn, but they do. They have you. They have Jason Caldwell, Nathan King on there all the time. They get a bad rap, but Pat and Landon are getting to be good friends of mine.
Yeah, I like them.
But let me talk about a little Auburn football recruiting. Guys, y'all awesome job this weekend, man. Read every article y'all had up this weekend, and man, oh man, what a weekend, guys.
It was a weekend.
It was a doozy.
And also too, Cole, but my buddy, are you going to cover the 707 in Hoover in July?
Maybe. Is it like a jamboree? A lot of teams going to be there?
No. I went to that last year and got to see Walker White in it last year.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
Every year they've been doing it in Hoover for probably 10 to 15 years, and I went out there last year, and this is something I got to go to every year. Everything. I know the coach, the Bacacus coach at Spain Park.
Yeah,
that's my buddy now.
Hanging out with the Spain Park people, but that is a great event, and I got a feeling. I'm hoping that Juju and Carrollton comes this year.
Okay. Yeah, I will probably be there, Don.
Well, if you're there, I'd love to meet you, buddy, and maybe I can take you to Twin Peaks afterwards and buy you a beer.
Well, you ain't have to ask me twice, Don.
All right, guys. Well, hey, guys, I love the show, and hey, it can't be a Sunday show without Kevin from Wilmer leading it off.
He's a superstar, man.
But hey, can I give my top 5 real quick, Jeffrey?
Yes, sir. And tell me if it's water or power.
Oh, absolutely. I got to have the water. I can go without power. You got to have the water. You got to bathe and drink the water. I mean, you got to bathe first, and you got to have some drinking water. I mean, my goodness.
We all say that as we're plugged in like a mofo right now. We got phones plugged in, lights on, fans on, AC's running, internet.
But we can
absolutely, guys. Well, yeah. With y'all's case, it's probably power because you got to do your work on the internet. That's true.
I'll go to the library if I need to.
Well, anyway, Jeffrey Lehman, here's my top 5. I would go with Juju Lewis, number 1.
Okay.
Caleb Cunningham, number 2.
I like it.
The kid from Parker, number 3.
Naeem.
Yep.
Show, number 4. And what's the kid from Kansas, the offensive lineman from Kansas?
Andrew
Babalola.
Yeah, he would be number 5. But I tell you what, if we get these 2 offensive linemen, this has got to be the best offensive line class Auburn's probably had in 20 years, in my opinion.
By far.
Mm-hmm. I think the Reese
guys, I go back all the way to the Forrest Davis book in 1981, fellas.
Yeah, I can't help it.
I love your work, love your show, and thank you for letting me call.
Hey, Don, appreciate you, big dog. It means a lot to us, man. I think that's a fantastic 5.
Oh, that's a great 5.
You get 2 of those 5.
It's funny, usually, and Don's a pro. I mean, he follows it really closely, obviously. But when people put their 5 together, it can be a little unrealistic because there's guys out there you want. But those guys are all realistic for Auburn. They really are. I mean, I'd be lying to you if I told you that any of those guys weren't realistic to Auburn.
Well, let me ask you this. Obviously, my hot board will update this week. But where would you have Naeem?
Okay, Naeem's the one. If there's anybody in there,
he's the lower, right?
He would be like, if you're ranking them from 5 to 1, on 5 being least likely, he'd be number 5 for sure. It's going to be hard to get him, man. It just is.
I think probably 35% on your hot board would be fair.
I thought that's exactly where I was thinking. I was going to say all of those cats are 40 or at least 40. But then I was like, Naeem, I'm not there yet. A lot of time in his recruitment. I mean, there's no rush. There's no rush on him. There's no rush on a guy like Antonio Coleman, who I think Cole thinks this too. Auburn has a very good shot of flipping him back to Auburn, but probably won't know until December.
I would say that they'll have a say in it. That's as far as I can go. I don't know if they're going to do it, but they definitely will have a say in it, it seems like.
Let me tell you this. If it was November 28th this week, the last week in November leading up to signing day, I would have Antonio Coleman at least 50%.
Yeah. I think that would be fair.
Juju, I've got him at 50. I'm gonna hold tight. There's gonna be so many twists and turns, up and downs. You could do that every day with a different percentage.
Man, that one's gonna be,
Cunningham, I probably have him at 50-55 because I'm taking him at his word, but it could easily go back down to 40-45. That's not a set in stone number.
Who are the other teams that he's officially visiting? It's Alabama, Florida.
Yep, Alabama, Florida.
Is it Tennessee?
I still don't think he told us today.
It's not one of the in-state schools. I know that. No,
because they still don't have. I mean, is this potentially try to get him to OV during the season and try to get the last, say in this?
Yeah, Florida next weekend, Tennessee the next weekend, Alabama the next weekend.
Interesting.
But he's going to have OVs to his in-state schools, surely. I would be shocked if they didn't, right? I mean, they're going to have that at some point. And listen, I'm taking him at his word too, Jeffrey. I think he was a couple things. Number one, we heard it and we all looked at each other like, oh, number one. And it's almost like when somebody says that, you got to really lean in and listen to the recording again and be like, all right, how did he say it? This is a big deal if it's true, if he's really meaning this. And it sounded, he said it plain as day that Auburn's, he told him yesterday that Auburn's number one. I think that was the quote. Mm-hmm. And then he retweets
number one.
Stand number one. And he retweets our story and says man, what a weekend or something like that. Almost like saying, yep, that's the truth.
Yeah, right. I endorse this.
Yeah.
I personally endorse this. Yeah. It wasn't like he was trying to hide. All right. Let's get to some more callers, Zach.
5812. You're live. Who are we talking to? Where are you calling from?
Hey, talking to Lance. I was just wondering if you could get Cole to run over what he saw at camp today.
All right.
As far as all the different recruits.
Lance,
I'll hang up and listen.
Lance, where are you from, big dog? Click. He's from Click, Alabama.
Yeah, he hung up with the quickness.
One caveat here.
His generator was running out. He done cut the power.
Yeah. I thought about something, though, for Jeffrey. This might be hard for you, big dog. So, we all said it was an easy water over power. Yeah. But how you going to get that clean towel that you're going to step on when you get out of the shower, man? Right. You don't have power.
You got to have, Jeffrey, a little high maintenance when it comes to the hygiene now.
Yeah, see, I do like my clean stuff.
I was going to say, how we going to have a dried? I guess he's going to put it out in the old sunshine.
Yeah, get you a clothesline.
Just sun dried. Yeah, there you go.
Ain't above
Leonard Washington bath cloth.
Ain't above washing them on them on that grills, whatever.
Yeah, that
washboard.
Yeah.
Hey, all right. Lance wanted to know. Oh, Cole, talk to us about camp.
Yeah. Gosh, man, it was swarming with kids. There's so many kids there. And when that happens, it's like, all right, the guy I'm trying to watch, he's not getting as many reps as I really need to see. That's just part of it when you have so many kids there. Maybe the next one will be a little bit toned down, but there were a couple guys there today. Tristan Norman, I heard pretty good things about him. I saw a couple of reps of his. He's fast, pretty agile, fast, not a big guy. So I don't, Freezes when he comes to receivers. Now that's his baby. And he likes the big receivers. So where does Tristan TK Norman from Montgomery stand? I don't know yet. That's one guy that I saw, obviously Logan Anderson from Fife, who got the offer today. I think he's good. I like his tape. does he have a ceiling like J.J. Falk, like Tyler Lockhart, like Duke Johnson, Elijah Melendez? I don't know yet. I can't quite tell that from watching him today. Now, he stands out from the crowd. There is no doubt about that. He is jacked up, and he can run. He ran a 4.4. So those are important numbers. Is he agile? Is he stop and start? Does he have all that going on? I'm not quite sure yet.
I hear you.
So I don't know exactly where he would stand either. Another guy that sort of stood out, and I watched a couple, we heard some buzz about him, was Ty Anthony. Was a 2025 wide receiver from Jag. It used to be Jeff Davis. It's called Jag now in Montgomery. Fast. He ran a 4.4 today. So those were the three guys that I saw. Other than that, everybody else was, I don't know if, you had some 2026 guys. I go all down that list for a while. Xavier McDonald, he's coming back for Big Cat Weekend. That's a top 60 overall player for the class of 2026. He had Jordan Gidron, who is a top 200 player, 4-star for the class of 2026. He will be back for Big Cat Weekend. So some positive things, a lot of good players there. A few stood out. That's mainly what I saw today.
Eight 4-6-6. You're live. Who we talking to? Where are you calling from?
How about you, boys? It's old E. Moss.
Oh,
Hey, my man.
How about you?
Congratulations,
Go on.
Emos.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. It was a beautiful wedding, man. Old Carmack showed up. We had about a 45-minute
Carmack.
wedding.
Heck yeah.
So Fred might have showed up. We still ain't sure what he looks like, so I don't know. No, I haven't been able to call in lately, guys. I changed my company after 11 years. Now I've been working third shift, so here in about an hour I go in and start the whole plan up. So I'm usually asleep about this time. But I got a quick story I wanted to tell you. I was in orientation for my new job, and I'm in there. The HR lady and the safety guys running it, and they asked us all to tell a story about ourselves or tell us where we're from, all that good stuff. And it got to me, and somebody said, "We know who he is. That's the cabbage guy." So everybody just busted out laughing, and then this guy walks in. He's looking real serious, and they introduce him as the production manager. And his eyes just lock in on me, and I'm just kind of looking back at him, and he goes over and starts reading the list of all the people there. And he looks up and he said, "Man, y'all done hired E. Moss from the corner."
No, he didn't.
Man.
I'm not going to say any company names or any guys' names or anything. This guy's the production manager. He's on the corner, and so he's a big fan.
Oh,
he looked over
I
at me,
like
he said,
it.
"Man, y'all," he said, y'all got to get him to tell y'all the cabbage story." And everybody in there busted out laughing because I just told it or whatever. Then he looked up at me, man, right in front of orientation. He said, "Man, I love Jay Lee. Did you see his new manscaping ass?" But no, it's been going pretty good. I don't want to take up too much time. I know y'all got a bunch of callers. Last year, me and Alan Head and hold on, Alan Head. I do want to ask you one thing. I hadn't talked to you since you changed your name. Are you a standard Alan Head or are you metric?
But how long have you been waiting to break that one out?
That's good, man.
That was good.
I don't think you're standard. We say you're metric.
That's right.
I like it, Eric. I like it.
Oh man.
But no, we had an ongoing conversation, me and Alan Head and Cole, last year on proof of concept.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we talked about it more on the offensive side of the ball, but I've been kind of bullish on this. I know we've talked about Alfred a lot on this show, and I'm kind of glad because I've been kind of bullish on this, and I've been bullish on thinking we had a chance with him. And I caught a lot of heat a couple weeks ago on the corner. This is before the surprise visit or the quick OV or whatever any of this happened. And I think we've established proof of concept maybe in different areas.
the defensive side of the ball at cornerback. You look at Kay and Lee. I know Kay and Lee's a top. I had this pointed out to me several times. I know he's a top 50 player. I know Alfred's a top 10 player. I know there's a difference there. But that's still proof of concept. You take a kid from the South that was committed to Ohio State. You flip him last year. Now he's a starter. He's the face of your secondary. His stock's through the roof. I guess I want to know, do y'all consider that a proof of concept, and will that play a factor in Alfred? We check off every box for Alfred. There's nothing we don't check off. There's things we check off that Ohio State can't check off. I really think we got a chance. I tagged Cole about a week ago and said I was putting my prediction in. I don't put a lot of predictions in. I usually just sit back and watch it. But knowing what I know with Kelly, Crime, and especially with Freeze, they're not letting that kid out of this state. Either Alabama will way overpay for that kid and he'll go to Alabama, or he'll go to Auburn. But I'm going to hang up and let y'all or listen. And I appreciate the congratulations, all y'all.
Appreciate you, Emails. Congrats to you, big dog. I don't think he goes to Bama, but proof of concept is flipping Kay and Lee, is making him a starter, developing into a second-year starter, or a starter in his second year.
So I think, and this is where Wes McGriff's history kind of comes into play, Charles Kelly history comes into play, because it's not elite DB play underneath Hugh Freeze per se, right? But the secondary coaches that you have there, you think about some of the guys just at Auburn that Wes has coached in: Roger McCreary, Carlton Davis. Who's the other cornerback that's down there with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Jamal Dean. Jamel Dean, excuse me. So 3 guys that are all in the NFL right now. You just put 2 more into the league this past year.
Yep.
And you could tell Naheem, I mean, look, we've done it with these guys, and athletically speaking, you're in a different stratosphere. So if I can do that with them, what can I do with you?
Right.
You could be a Thorpe winner. You could be the first round NFL draft pick at Auburn since Carlos Rogers. And honestly, Naheem Alford has that kind of athletic ceiling. I think he's still a touch raw, if I'm being completely honest. I don't think he's a finished product by any means. But athletically, he's got every bit of it, man. I mean, he can flip his hips. He can run. He's got the ability to play the ball in phase, and he's got the ball skills to make sure that he can do something with it when he gets his hands on it. So he's a complete package. And you've got proof of concept on your side as it pertains to DB play, specifically underneath the DB coaches that you have. And look, I know I talk predominantly about Crime, but Charles Kelly is second to none as far as it goes with producing defensive backs. I mean, look what he did at Florida State, Alabama, even at the University of Tennessee. And before that, I believe he was at Georgia Tech and had a couple of guys that he helped get into the NFL there as well. So guys that have done it for a long time at a very high level.
Good stuff, E-Moss. Bring me some of that cabbage one day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got it. I got to know.
Mm-hmm. 2246. You're live. Who we talking to? Where are you calling from?
What's going on, fellas?
There he is. Hey. What's going on, Edward?
What's going on, man?
You calling in to tell us about water or power, aren't you?
Water or power? I'm going to go all the way against the grain with this one, see, because I come from old school. My grandmama raised me, and it was probably, let me see, it might have been 1997, 98 before she got running water in her house.
No kidding.
Wow. I come from deep in the country of Watauga County.
Yes.
On our family land up there, it's probably 3 underground springs. I know where they at that runs crystal clear water year round. Some of the best drinking water that you will ever drink. So I made a mini trip with jugs and 5-gallon buckets to go catch water. I can survive without water. I know where water is. But in this day and age, if you really think about it, we'll go crazy without power. No phone, no internet, no TV, no cable, no air conditioner, no heater. I can get by without the water. I know what water is. I know how to go boil my water. I know how to put my water on the stove, boil it for my bath water. I can get by without that. But I got to have my power because I can't sleep hot and I can't sleep cold. So
I agree with
for
that.
me, I can go without.
You might have flipped me.
Me too.
Yep, I flip.
Yeah, me too. I'm with Edward.
Look, and I used to work with this old guy that told me once, I kid you not, he was like, look now, Alan. He said, you know why they have those wars in the Middle East, don't you? And I said, no, sir, I don't. He said, because they ain't got no AC out there.
Yeah, man, we walked many days to that spring to go get water, man. I mean, that's what she didn't. West Otago water didn't come out in the rural area over there to like it had to be 1997, 1998. They was doing the water lines. I remember hell, and I was going to school every day. So, man, shit, I know what 2 or 3 wells at with water still in it. Yeah, I can get water out the well. It's just pump might be bad, but I know how to get the dip of water out of it. So I know where the water is. I ain't worried about the water. I can get water. But we got a lot of buzz going on down there with the recruiting, man. It's some good notes y'all guys writing, and things on the up and up.
Yeah, it was a good day for Auburn football today.
Yeah, it was.
It was a good day for the future.
I believe there's many more days to come like that, and I think it's a couple key recruits that may be committed to other schools. Auburn, they not out of the picture. I'm telling you, Auburn not out of the picture for none of these guys that committed elsewhere right now. They sitting right there.
Yeah, I don't think Auburn even views them as committed.
A big recruit is Alvin Henderson. A lot hinges on Alvin Henderson for me because I think firsthand there's 1 or 2 more recruits I think you get without a shadow of a doubt if you can somehow flip Alvin Henderson back. Oh, I believe that. Matter of fact, I know that a couple that you will flip if somehow you can get him in their class. And I think in the end, like most of y'all think, I think he ends up at Auburn.
Edward, big visit coming up 5 days from now will be your boy, Derek Smith. The Alabama commitment from Selma. Have you heard anything on him? Or how about maybe putting your ear to the ground this week and seeing what you can find out?
Well, I'm telling you, I think Auburn has just as good a chance as anybody. I don't think we out of the picture. That's not nothing that I know personally, nothing that I have heard. I'm just going on my gut feeling. The whole it's June, man. It's a lot you got to play out before now in December. And I
6 months.
I just believe in this part with Hugh Freeze, much like the Cam Coleman, much like the Perry Thompson, much like the DeMarcus Riddick last year. I believe that the guy, the Hugh Freeze and his staff, the one that they really want and really willing to go all out on, I think they get their guys. That's just, they showed me that in the portal, and they're going to show me that in high school recruiting, because I think they're willing to do whatever they got to do to get the guys that they want to get. And if he's one of those guys they really and truly want, I think they get him.
I think they have about a 75% success rate. I think that's fair. They don't have 100%.
75%. That's hard to beat, right there.
Absolutely.
If you can
that's not a shot. That's
who you want. Shit.
I think 3 out of every 4. You take those for every 4 they get, or for every 3 they get.
Sure.
Might miss an LJ McCray, might miss a Kamarion Franklin.
Who's
KJ Bolden.
KJ Bolden. So you think that's you get 12 and you miss those 3. So you're
right.
I think my math sucks there.
I like those odds. Any day. That just shows me the progress that we have made, as far as how far we have come on the recruiting front.
Huge, yeah. That used to be about 10%.
Y'all interviewed this weekend. That was non-existent on the Gus. I mean, you got 5-star offensive lineman there, man. You know,
he could get them to visit, but
our quarterback there. You know, it's not hard to sell a wide receiver if you can get somebody like Julian Lewis, or push come to shove, even a KJ Lacey. You know, if you can get guys of that caliber committed at quarterback, and like you say, the big thing with a guy like Derek, what I feel gonna be is proof of concept. Last year, he wasn't impressed with the offense. Cole said it. You know, he told Cole that, you know, it really wasn't, you know, too excited about what he's seen on offense. Okay. But I'm going to show you what I'm finna do with a Perry and a Cam. I'm going to show you what I can do with these type of guys, you know. So I think, you know, the kid probably still wants to play offense. I don't know what Bama recruiting him at, but I know he's a hell of a wide receiver. He's a hell of a defensive back. But if I can show you, hey, I can get you the ball, you know, and I got a quarterback to do that. I think you increase your chances, you know. So I think it's a long way from being over with.
I'd agree with that wholeheartedly.
Edward, good stuff, buddy.
All right, man. I just calling just to chat with y'all for a minute. But
don't be a stranger now.
Good night, man.
All right, appreciate you, buddy.
Appreciate it.
Good stuff, man.
Always.
Yep.
No, and I think he's. Go ahead, Jeffrey. I'm sorry.
I meant to ask him about Tim from California. I'll do that next week.
Oh, yeah.
But I think he's spot on as it pertains to Alvin. I think Alvin does help you with Zion Grady. I think he helps you with Eric Winters, in my opinion. I firmly believe if you're able to get that one sooner rather than later, it helps you with some high-end targets on your board.
Hey, let's do this for the recruiting show. Don talked about his top 5 because I believe Cole would have to work in Eric Winters somewhere. But who the hell are he going to drop?
Yeah, he'd be in my top 5 easily.
So maybe that's a topic of discussion. All right, Zach, keep going, big dog. Finale. Got us the finale here.
5799. You're live. Who we talking to? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Ricky from Birmingham.
Hey, Ricky.
Hey, Ricky.
How about you, buddy?
Hey, I'm all right. This week I got some predictions and some questions for y'all.
Okay.
All right.
This was going to be week 0 and week 1 prediction. I got Georgia over Clemson. I got Miami over Florida. I got Notre Dame over Texas A&M. I got LSU over USC. I got Florida State over Georgia Tech.
Okay.
I got 9 wins as a floor and 10 as a ceiling.
Ooh.
And I got 3 trap games. Ole Miss, Georgia, and Alabama. My 3 trap games. I got Georgia right now at 53% and Auburn 50%, and Ole Miss and Alabama 50-50 right now.
50-50.
Yeah. My first question is, what does Hugh Freeze have to do to retire as a head coach for Auburn? The reason why I asked that question because the last coach to retire as a head coach was Pat Dye. I was 2 years old at that time, so it's been a long time since we already had a coach that retired as a head coach. And my next question, who has Auburn made the biggest impact on this recruiting cycle? One on offense and one on defense. My next question, how many total recruits from high school will this class have? I'm predicting 27 by December.
Okay. All right.
My last question, what percentage will you give Auburn landing both Naeem Alford and Caleb Cunningham? Right now, I'm at 65%, but if they both show up for Big Cat, I'm going to jump it up to 75%.
Okay. Give me another rundown. All right. Alford and Cunningham, real quick, fellas. Percentage that Auburn lands of both.
20%.
Who is it again?
Alford, Naeem, and Caleb Cunningham.
Both. I'm going to go less than 30%.
I'd say 35. I'll go high. What was the other questions, Ricky?
He hung up.
I kind of wrote them down.
Okay, cool.
He so he asked who Auburn has had two recruits, one offense, one defense. Who has Auburn had the most impact this cycle? I guess.
Yeah.
Meaning, I don't know. How do y'all?
Who have they made the biggest move for?
Yeah, I think that's the fair assessment. And for me, it's Caleb Cunningham as of today.
Yeah, I mean that's a great answer. It's hard. You know what? I'll go Caleb. Let's just go with the OVs. Who did they make the biggest move for? I say Caleb Cunningham and Elijah Melendez.
I was going to include do you want to include Scholl? Do you want to include Babalola?
Well, I already felt like personally, I felt like Scholl. They had already made the move. They just needed to, and it's not done yet by any means, but they needed to kind of hammer it home today or this weekend. Right. I feel like they did a good job of that. So,
right.
What was the other question?
I think it was how many recruits, how many signees do you think Auburn have 2025? He said 27.
I think y'all got it in low 20s.
Yeah,
22
I mean,
maybe.
If I go with my prediction, it's 24. But
yeah, I think
it could easily be lower than. It could easily be higher than that if they hit on the ones they want to hit on.
See, that's the thing, because I was running the numbers today, and yes, if I were doing like realistic math here, I think 23, 24 is probably what you're looking at. But if you hit on every target that you want, I mean, and I think they would not save for the portal if you land certain high school. I mean, they're not saving for the portal if you're going after Naheem Offord. You know what I mean? Like, so there are certain guys that they would take, period. And I think those offensive linemen, like you said, Cole, if you rack up Babalola and Scholl and Jacoby Ward, I mean, they're going to take all those guys. They're not saving any spots for that.
They would.
13. I counted 13.
Let's just go with what we were saying earlier. Let's go with what we were saying earlier. They got a 75% hit rate. If that's the case,
9 out of 12, by the way, not 12 out of 15.
If 75% is the case, and we know all the targets, I mean, we could sit here and count them out, but really just, in your head, make a guesstimate. If they really do have a 75% hit rate, it's going to be above what it was last year, which was 22, 21. So
I'll go 24, 25 because I forgot a quarterback. That's taking 2 more safeties, 2 more corners, an edge, another linebacker or 2 more offensive linemen, 2 more defensive linemen, another tight end, 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, and a quarterback. You're up to 25.
Absolutely. And this is what we don't know. There were guys that were very high on the board this time last year that they waited a little bit longer than they needed to, and then they lost a spot in the class. And Auburn decided to move on to somebody else. Reese Baker's one of those. Reese Baker was an absolute take at one point.
Big cat.
He was.
He was an absolute take at one point. Who's the linebacker from Arkansas, Wyatt Simmons? He was a take at one point.
Yep.
2 guys right there that I think as time went on, Auburn kind of lost interest there somewhat and started trending towards other players.
Well, you could say the same about Martavius Collins, Jaden Lewis, and Fat Burnett. That's 3 that you could have had in the class.
That you decided that it was better that we go in a different direction. So I think right now, 24-25 is a solid answer. I do. Yeah. But let's see how the senior eval will change some of that, right? Because that's what happened to the 3 guys you just talked about, Cole. It was senior eval tape that they looked at and said, right.
We can do better.
We can do better. We can pick up better in the portal than what we've got. So why utilize that roster space?
Definitely.
Had they held the evaluation they held coming out of their junior year, I think those 3 guys would have stayed within your class.
Right.
Which is why I am anti-preseason signing day.
Yeah, me too.
Let me tell you my idea for that is how I would do this. And we got to move on to our next call, but I would go back to 1 signing period, but I wouldn't do it in February. I would have 1 transfer portal period too that would be for 30 days, and I would run this just like the NFL. I would get away from spring training. You would have nothing but OTAs over the summer. Why do we need a transfer portal period while you still got the playoff going on? You know what I mean? Like, why not wait till everything's done, have free agency / transfer portal period open February 1 to March 1. Get all that out of the way. Have a signing day in April so that your high school class is set. Everybody reports in May, and you can start OTAs right then. Why do we
no more early enrollees?
Yeah, no more early enrollees. Kids can go through their full senior year. They can go to their senior prom, do all that, and they don't miss out on anything from being a kid, right? And you still get the added benefit of going through the summer OTAs, just like they do in the pros. So it's no different, right? And they're already here. The coaches just can't practice with them other than workouts. So it doesn't make sense to me the way we currently have the system set up. And I wish they would do something to fix the recruiting calendar so it flowed significantly better and kids could be kids and college coaches could really organize a board the way you need to.
I think did that get them all, Cole, Ricky's questions?
His first question was, what will it take for Hugh Freeze to be able to retire at Auburn?
I can answer that. Yeah, I was going to say you can answer it in one word, and it's championships.
Well, I'm just going to answer it the same way I've been answering it, because that's another variation of a question we've gotten several times, and my answer all those times has been leave him alone, because what he's bringing in, if they really do have a 75% hit rate on the guys that they really, really want, and their standards are way up there, they will be successful. I really believe that. But you got to leave them alone. Now, this year may not be as pretty as everybody wants it to be. It's very possible that could happen.
Still a year away.
And are you going to grab your pitchfork and start doing all that mess again? I wouldn't.
No.
Unless it's just ugly.
Yeah. I mean, you got to win, and you got to win champion. You think about Dye, being able to retire here, and he was unfortunately kind of pushed into retirement.
Sure.
But four SEC championships and should have had a national championship in 1983. Like, you have to have that kind of sustained success to be able to retire at Auburn.
I referenced Rick and Bubba a good bit. Rick, on that show, his dad was the head coach at Jacksonville State, and they named the field after him. They named the field at Burgess Snow Field is the Jacksonville State field, and when he accepted that at a banquet, he said, it's funny. The same place that's naming the field after me is the place that pushed me out, that fired me.
Same for Pat Dye.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how it works.
Tuberville was right, though. I think Tommy said a lot of things, but that you lose 10% of your fan base and your donor base every year that you're employed. And I think he's right. I think 10 years in today's college football is a long time to be in one place. And 10 years would get Freeze to 63? That would be about retirement age.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're getting close to that point for sure.
It was a fantastic closing call from Ricky from Birmingham. Another fantastic calls tonight. Really was, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
I think so.
Listen, Kevin's the superstar. Let us off. He's going to come back next week with his top 5 recruits for this year. Anthony from Montgomery tried his best to follow in the footsteps of Kevin. If anybody can do it, Anthony can, and he did. Yeah. Malachi coming in from Anniston. Great call. Clay from Columbus. Oh, War Damn Don. War Damn Don. Lance, Emos, Big Dog, getting him a raise, using us to get a raise, our job. Edward from Selma, fantastic as always, and Ricky closing us out, man. You know what I totally forgot about tonight?
What?
Freaking Jessica Andrews for the Talents Group.
Man. I haven't forgot.
My goodness, folks. You didn't even know it. Y'all do not tell her this. Yeah, if you're looking for a home in or around Auburn, Opelika, Lee County, folks, you know who to call. Give her a call. Jessica Andrews with the Talents Group, 334-704-4442. She is a 5-star realtor. If you don't believe me, just ask me. Just ask me. She's a 5-star realtor. Promise you. You will not be disappointed. Give her a call, 334-704-4442. Tell her we sent you. All right, folks, we're going to wrap it up. Listen, we're probably going to have a little extended version of the recruiting show out this week. We're going to talk a lot about this weekend, about the recruits coming in next week, as well as the next weekend. It's going to be jam-packed recruiting intel at Auburn Live on 3. If you haven't already, go get signed up right now. You can get 2 months for $1 using the promo code AU1. That's capital A, capital U1. Use that promo code. You'll get 2 months for $1. Just don't tell anybody. That is our secret. Do not tell anybody. All right. Thank you all so much, man. We really appreciate everybody watching. Appreciate everybody calling. Appreciate everybody listening. We'll see you Wednesday. For Mr. Allen Head, Mr. Zach in the back who came to the front, for Cole Pinkston, I'm Jeffrey Lee, man. Y'all stay at that left lane. See ya.